That affects your fertility, that affects your cycle, that affects your ability to conceive.
Sun go down, light bad.
You can't multiply 0 and get something. So if you're not doing anything and then multiplying by 100 with your supplements, you're still at 0.
If you have your hormones all in check, yeah, go be the CEO of that huge company, girl boss and whatever. I love it for you.
As a woman, especially a working woman, like there are certain things that we have to do, boundaries that we have to draw and respect for the good of our health, the good of our family, and so on. Today, we're talking about something that affects your hormones, your metabolism, your cravings, your mood, your fertility, your pregnancy, basically everything. And yet it's the one thing most women try to just power through: stress. And more specifically, how chronic stress, nervous system dysregulation, and poor sleep are quietly impacting your health in ways you might not even realize. Because you can eat the perfect diet, hit your workouts, take the supplements, and if your body is stuck in fight or flight mode and running on 5 hours of sleep, it's going to feel like you're working twice as hard for half the results. Today, we're breaking down the science between stress, circadian rhythm, and nervous system regulation, and how to actually support your body instead of fighting against it. So let's get into it.
I don't know why this time always feels very stressful, even though like we're after Christmas, like maybe it's just the cold weather just feels stressful on the body. I don't know.
I feel like it's a little bit of like, you're almost like through the holidays, you're in the new year, you want to like almost move more. You've been inside for so long that it's like almost stressful because you can't, but you want to, and you just feel kind of stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I learned a lot when I started researching into some great things to just bring up and make sure that we share in this episode. But I think one of the bigger ones that surprised me, because when we think about stress, we always think that it's like a mental stress or like a physical stress, and not really like how that affects everything. So what I learned is that stress isn't just mental. It's not just the mental load. It's not just like the physical, like tired, achy kind of body. And maybe it is, but it's not just that. There's more to it. And what I learned is it's actually hormonal. So it's not just your brain that feels a little fatigued. It's actually your hormones that are out of whack when you're feeling overwhelmed, like your cortisol when it's increased, your adrenaline, your HPA axis, which is like getting really into the depth of it, but that all affects your nervous system. And that's what really controls like how stressed you actually feel, which is crazy to me because that regulates your blood sugar, it regulates how your body is storing fat, and even how your body ovulates, which you wouldn't think of it that way, but it really affects everything. I don't know. Did you know that, or have you heard about that before?
I know that stress definitely affects a lot. But I don't know if I really knew it was down to the level of hormones, which
Hmm.
is interesting. But I know it like affects your sleep and things like that, affects your mood for sure. I think just to go back a little bit to like this time of year, I think also it's hard when there's a lot of sickness going around. And it's hard because like the stress causes the sickness, but then you're stressed because you're sick, and it's just a never-ending cycle. So, I think finding the root cause and like really honing in on it is key.
Yeah. And I think like as a mom, before talking about sickness, like I didn't ever get sick. Like I've heard some people say that not getting sick is a bad thing, but like years, probably like 4 years, I hadn't had any sickness. And like we're talking through COVID too, like not even a sniffle, no sickness. It was crazy. And then once I became a mom, I was sleeping less. I was physically stressed out more. I was learning how to be a mom. I was taking care of a newborn that didn't ever want to be put down. Like there were a lot of different factors that were affecting my immune system, my nervous system. And I was getting sick all the time. I shouldn't say all the time, but like I got really sick in April. I got sick a couple weeks ago. Like I was sick toward the end of the year. And it's like, I don't get sick. But it really just goes to show like that stress affects your immune system. Then you get sick. And then, like you said, it's just that cycle. But it all comes down to how my body is perceiving those stressors and how it chooses to express them, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I think stress and sleep are like the silent killers. And if you're not focusing on both of them most of the time, if not all of the time, your body's just going to shut down.
Mhm. And, like, I've talked about this before on the podcast. My mom was always the one that's like, "I'll sleep when I'm dead." And I don't know how she functions.
No, well, the thing is, didn't she work nights a lot?
Mhm.
It's like statistically proven that it lessens your lifespan when you have that kind of like third shift. And I mean, I see a lot of nurses at my job and I always talk about that with them and they're like, "Yeah, I see how it does."
Mhm.
And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, and, like, I almost feel and I know it's not realistic because, like, the world goes round and, you can't just shut a hospital down at night, but, like,
Absolutely.
it should almost be illegal because of how awful it is for our bodies to have workers overnight.
Absolutely. Somebody's got to do it, but I think the reason it hurts so much is because of something a lot of people don't know of is circadian rhythm. So your body is supposed to wake and sleep with the sun, and it completely goes against circadian rhythm. So I think that's what does it.
Yeah.
Because they could be getting just as much sleep as anyone working during the day. But I think it's because they're fighting what their body's naturally wanting to do. But again, somebody's got to do it. And so thankful that they do.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, yeah, I definitely think it has to go with not only the circadian rhythm, but also, like, how your body naturally wants to function with your hormones, with your signaling. Like, you have to think about, like, melatonin production and stress. Like, it's natural for your cortisol to increase in the morning slightly, like, within a healthy range, but, like, your body naturally wants to do that in the morning, and that's what wakes you up for the day, and then the energy that you need for the day, and then going and kind of flip-flopping that, and now you're awake at night and you're sleeping during the day, like, that's just not natural. It's very forced and, like, manual of a human to do that to their own body. But what I think is really interesting when it comes down to stress and your body's perception of that, and I've heard this before, but your body physically, kind of like we say, like, sometimes you feel hungry, but you're actually thirsty, and your body just
yeah,
doesn't know how to decipher that. Well, when it comes to stress, like, your body doesn't know the difference between being chased by a tiger or a bear or anything that, like, freaks you out in your dreams and just having an inbox full of emails. Like, if you're stressed about your emails, like, that's your body sees stress, period, blank, end of story.
like even just like sending a text back. Sometimes that could just be like the straw that breaks the camel's back. And it's like, God, now I'm being chased by a tiger. Because, and I have to send one text message. It seems so silly, but it happens to all of us.
What we don't realize is our sleep is affecting our metabolism, whether we want to realize that or not. Like, hormonal, yeah, didn't realize that. But not only is it affecting your hormones, it's affecting your metabolism, which, again, this is something I learned that I mean, I knew, but sometimes it's good to have a reminder of that when you're not sleeping, your body is naturally creating less of your satiety hormone and more of the hormone that's telling you that you're hungry. So it's leptin and ghrelin. Ghrelin is like your tummy's growling. That's how I like to remember it. So the ghrelin, your tummy is growling more and then your leptin is decreased, so you're not feeling full. So then you're snacking, and then you have cravings, and then you wonder why you can't satisfy your hunger. And maybe you're thirsty too. So there's a whole lot of factors that are in play there, but it's all affecting your metabolism and your hunger and satiety hormones, which directly affects how you act, how you eat, and what you're eating because you feel like you're craving more.
Yeah. And I feel like, I don't know. I, I've been getting, and let me know if you like feel any different. Do you feel like you get more sleep in the summertime or like the wintertime?
I think it's different. I don't know. I honestly can't answer that because it's different. I know it's different now that I have Josie. Because before I
It's
was
very true.
always like the go to bed between 9 and 10, get up 4:30, 5 o'clock, go to the gym. Like I was always like that like year round. But now with Josie, like I have made the decision to focus on my sleep regardless. So like I don't force myself to wake up early or before her. Like I just wake up with her. And it really just depends on when I get my butt to bed if I'm getting more or less sleep.
Because I feel now this is why I asked this. Because I feel like I get more sleep in the winter time,
I feel like that'd be
but
natural.
yes, because of the circadian rhythm and the sun going down and things like that. But I feel more energized and less stressed in the summertime.
And that's probably because you get more vitamin D and like your happy hormones are more active in the summer because it's warm.
It's very true. It's very true. But I was gonna say when I like don't get good sleep in the winter, I feel it so much,
Hmm.
so much. But should we talk a little bit about what circadian rhythm even is? Because people might not know.
Yeah, it's probably like a yeah, circadian rhythm buzzword. Like I get it, but like, do we actually? And I would love if you, not that I don't get it, but like I would love if you kind of break that down because I know that's something that you focus on a little bit more than what I do.
Circadian rhythm is kind of like rising and falling with the sun. So your body and our bodies in the past, now we have all this gorgeous blue light around us that disrupts all of our circadian rhythm.
Like,
But
isn't it like is it incandescent light? Like that overhead lighting is really bad too.
yeah, iridescent, incandescent.
The lights,
The lights are bad.
especially once the sun goes down.
Sun go down, light bad.
If you didn't know, just to summarize.
No, but we have all this blue light now, which now when you got to think back in the day, the home would be lit by some sort of fire or candle light, which that's like warm, like kind of like red light.
Hmm.
Now all of our homes are lit with electricity,
An
and
LED
that's
light.
where that yes, that's where that blue light comes into play, which the blue light is almost like a stimulant.
Hmm.
So that's why they say don't be scrolling on your phone because you're getting all that blue light. They say not to watch TV. That's all that blue light. Um, but they have these great things called blue light glasses
Hmm.
that I've started to when I'm in bed because I watch TV to go to bed and I just pop those on when I'm like watching TV before bed and it's supposed to block out the blue light and make you tired and I have noticed it makes me more tired and ready to fall asleep faster when I put those on while watching TV at night. This time of year is very hard because the sun goes down at like 4:30, 5 o'clock. We're getting further, but we're not quite there yet. Um, and you should be popping on those blue light glasses as soon as that sun goes down. Because when the sun goes down, it's telling your body, okay, it's time to sleep. But everything you're doing, because who's really going to sleep at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock anymore?
Josie.
Josie. Josie's asleep. But other than Josie, the world is awake. So all of that stuff that we're doing is just creating our brain to like stimulate and helping us to not fall asleep as fast and not get enough deep sleep to really rejuvenate your brain. Because what happens when you're sleeping is there's like little, best way to explain it is there's like little guys that go in and they clean up your brain while
Hmm.
you're sleeping. So that way when you're wake up in the morning, your brain's all nice and clean and then you can go about your day again. But
Hmm.
if they don't have enough time to clean it,
And you wake up
then
feeling
you wake up
foggy.
foggy and tired and not energetic.
Hmm.
But the circadian rhythm is kind of that rise and fall of like sun is up, I am up. Sun is down, I'm starting to wind down and sleep because that's what my body's meant to do. That's how you were designed.
Hmm. And then it also, like we talked about, like affects your metabolism. So going against that along with your sleep, like all of your signals are out of whack. So like if your
Yeah.
brain isn't able to clear, it's got all of this like mental sludge, and then add on to that, your hormones are out of whack, you're feeling hungrier, you can't think straight, you're not making good decisions. So you're snacking on things that even if you had normal hunger and fullness cues, like you're probably not filling your stomach. You're having empty calories, and that leads to that extra snacking and kind of adding on more body weight or even inflammation that just makes you feel even more sluggish. So it all comes down to your sleep, how you're following the circadian rhythm and really listening to your body's signals, which is so interesting to me.
Yes. Which it's the same thing with like the sickness though. The stress affects the sleep affects the stress.
Mhm.
So they need to be evenly weighed out in your day to day. Um, and if you, to go into more of the self care situation, if you really need to start winding down your body, which you should when the sun goes down, but if you're saying, I'm done, and granted, a lot of us can't say we're done, but if you're like, I'm done, like, I'm taking this time from me, don't be checking emails at 8 till 8 p.m. at night and things like that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, take that self care to realize I need this for my body and my health because lack of sleep is related to so many problems later in life. Alzheimer's being a
Mhm.
huge one.
I was gonna ask when you were talking about the blue light blockers, because like in my head, I almost wonder, you got like the placebo effect, right? So it's like your
Mhm.
brain thinks that it's blocking out blue light and that you should be sleepier later. And it's like, how much of that do you think like actually is placebo effect because it's what you believe? Like whatever we believe to be true, like we're going to find evidence to lean toward what we're wanting the outcome to be. So, like, how do we know? I don't know if you've looked into this. Like, how do we know if we're buying blue light blockers that like they're actually doing what they say they're supposed to?
You know what? I read something the other day that said you can't bullshit your brain. So if you're saying to your brain, oh my God, I'm sick, you're going to be sick.
Mhm.
So, but if you're saying to your brain and you truly believe I'm putting these glasses on and they're blocking out blue light, they're probably going to work. Do you get
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Granted, there is studies that show blue light blocking out the blue light in the nighttime hours definitely helps by miles, but if you are someone that questions it, like Kaylin just did, you can't bullshit your own brain.
Mhm.
Your brain, you tell your brain something, it'll believe you.
Yeah, because I have little blue light blockers right here, and you can kind
Mhm.
of see even like in the tin with the um just daylight on it, like they look a little blue. But I do question, does it actually do anything? Because I got them. I don't know.
Have you taken any kind of note or um, maybe tracked with your aura ring and actually really started to wear them at nightfall and then
No,
literally wear them until your eyes are closed at night?
I have not. I
Well, there
haven't.
you go.
I
You
wore
can do
them
a
all day
little.
Tuesday during the day. 'Cause I was like, "Why not?"
Yeah, but I also don't know if that's good unless you're really staring at a computer screen all the time.
Which I was.
Because which you were, but I don't think they're a good idea to wear all the time unless you are staring at a computer screen because you do want that boost of energy and brain stimulation
Mhm,
throughout the day from the blue light. Um, it's just that nighttime where your body's supposed to be wearing down,
mhm.
winding down.
No, I would be curious to see because something that I talked about, I think when we were doing our episode on nighttime routines, I had talked about, like, using downtime on my phone, and I have since started using that again, um, which I like, and sometimes, like, I rebel against myself. I don't know if you've ever seen there's a thing called Brick. and it's like a physical device that you literally just like kind of touch your phone to it, and in an app on your phone for this device, like you set up your settings. So anytime you brick your device, whatever notifications, whatever apps, like they're completely off limits. So you can't like do the, oh, remind me in a minute, remind me in 15 minutes, remind me, or just turn it off, you know? Like I do that a lot. When it's like, oh, just 15 minutes, I'll go on TikTok for 15 minutes. I'll just ignore the downtime, even though it's after 9:30. I said that I didn't want to be on my phone, but like there's workarounds. So I am considering maybe going the brick route, but I do notice like my screen time is down when I have my downtime turned on. I'm scrolling less most nights during the week and even on the weekends. That's usually when I kind of give myself a little bit of it's the weekend, like do what you want. But I do like the downtime because it does kind of set boundaries, especially with that scrolling at night. But it helps with the blue light. It helps forcing yourself to go to sleep because what else do you have to do? So what I typically do on a perfect, we'll say perfect, on an ideal night is, we'll have dinner. Josie will play a little bit, whatever, take her up for a bath time, put her to bed, and then I'll come downstairs and either shower or sit down and read. So like in my head, it's like once Josie goes to bed, there's no reason I should be sitting on my phone. But sometimes I get sucked in. We're human. It happens. But ideally, I would like to really like be off my phone at 7:30. Like how amazing would that be? Shut that down. No blue light.
It would it would definitely be amazing. The hard part is, specifically with us, is we kind of do a lot business-wise through our phone, through a computer
Mhm.
that is always attached to us. Like, it's not like "Oh, I'm just gonna leave this at the office"
Mhm.
situation. But you really do need to be stern with yourself and decide your priorities, and I'll be the first to say too, sometimes I'm scrolling
Mhm.
I'm scrolling, and sometimes I scroll in bed. Horrible, I know, but sometimes I do it.
I like
Like,
and maybe you've gotten away from this cuz I remember when was it? Sometime last year, within the last half of the year, like you said, anytime I'm in bed, like no phone. Like I can have it there for the alarm clock, but like not scrolling. If I'm in bed, I'm not allowed to scroll.
yes, that was when TikTok shut down.
Yes.
That was when TikTok shut down, and I had a bit of a wake-up call when I went, like, right to sleep, and then when I, woke up right away in the morning because I was, like, done on my phone because I checked my Instagram, I checked my email, and I was like, "Oh, I guess I'll get up." So but since then, I don't scroll on my phone before bed. I will scroll on it in the mornings.
Mhm.
I will.
Yeah.
But maybe one day I'll stop doing that too. Um, but I like to just, like, check everything because then once you're up,
The day goes.
I the day goes, and then I'm, like, have missed
Everything.
messages and
Mhm.
emails and text messages and all that kinda stuff because I didn't check it right in the morning, right when I open
Yeah.
my eyes, but I shouldn't. I know I shouldn't. I
Mhm.
should be looking at the sunlight right when I open my eyes, but we'll get we'll get there. It's hard to look at the sunlight right now, right when you
I
open
know.
your eyes.
There is none.
There is not really any. But during the summer, I think that's gonna be my goal more so is to get some sunlight in the eyes in the morning to honestly to set the circadian rhythm.
Mhm. Yeah, and I'm sure you'll feel better because of that too.
Yeah.
But I think what we don't realize with circadian rhythm, kind of like we were talking about how stress affects your hormones, circadian rhythm not only affects like how your bodies rise and fall and the cortisol, it fully controls our hormone release. So down to the hormonal level again, it affects our digestion. So not only the hormones of ghrelin and leptin, but also how well your body is digesting. Because, like we've said before, sleep is your operating table. So that circadian rhythm really does affect everything. It affects your body temperature, which I think also leads into like we had talked about, like fertility and ovulation. Like when your body temperature is out of whack, fertility is going to be not as great. You're going to have a harder time like ovulating and producing quality eggs and all of those things. It also affects your timing with cortisol and melatonin, which affects like how well you're able to fall asleep and how quickly.
Yeah, and I think that's something not a lot of people know, which we're gonna dive in here soon. Not in this podcast, but on another podcast. Um, it is already a lot harder to conceive in the wintertime than the summertime.
Mm.
And I don't think people know that.
I'd actually be interested to see if anything in my certification talks about that. I'm not there yet, but
Well,
I would love to find out.
well, the female body loves warmth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all your winter months, like back in the day, like a winter conception was almost seen as like a, oh my God,
It's a miracle.
how'd that happen? Yeah. So like but you said it affects your mood, and I think for women, and maybe this is like a little like whoa, mind blown um moment, but I think for women too, cuz it's no secret to friends and family, and maybe I've said it a few times on the podcast here. I get a little sad from time to time in the winter. Um and I like don't in the summer or the fall or the spring or anything. And it's just like that little bit of wintertime. And I think it's that lack of vitamin D, but it also might be the fact that my body and the fertility of my body and the hormones are not properly doing what they're supposed to do at this exact moment.
Mhm.
And we've just had some extremely cold times. I've been a little sick. My sleep's been a little off. And I've been kind of sad lately. So I think it's because my body as a female body is not being allowed to do what it wants to do.
Mhm.
And I think it just throws everything off and it becomes upset with itself. So
Mhm.
I need to like regulate it.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think a lot of people know that like winter conception is like harder than summer conception.
Mhm. Which again, it kind of makes sense because, like, if you think about us, or even like down to like deer, if we want to go to like an animal kind of like example, like they have their rut season, they have their okay, all the babies are being born season. Like we kind of know when those seasons are happening because of the weather. When it's warmer, they get to a part of the year and it's like, all right, time to rut. And then I actually don't know how long deer are pregnant for, but then it's like those spring doe or those spring babies, like there they are. You see all the little Bambies running around, and it's like, oh, we have so many babies because of the timing of the rut. So, like, kind of with humans, like, not that we have a rut, like, we kind of do what we want, but that makes sense if you bring it down to like an animal kind of level example.
Absolutely, because we are
We are
all
animals.
animals. So it makes perfect sense. But I think as women, that's what you have to remember too, because as much as we don't want to say it, and it's such a big like controversial junk, the female body, the only thing it wants to do at the end of the day is reproduce.
There's two things:
That's it.
survive
Oh,
and reproduce.
yeah. That's very true. But you have to survive in order to reproduce.
Hmm.
Like everything going on with you stems down to that.
Hmm.
And but men are not the same way.
Survive.
So yeah, their main goal is to survive. The female body is to reproduce. And I know people hate to hear that, and we want to like be women hear me roar, and we are. Don't get me wrong. We so are, but like that's what it is.
Yeah.
So when you're disrupting that in some way, your body doesn't like it.
Don't argue with it. Just trust the science. You can't argue with
Just like
it.
yeah, like it doesn't love it. So and if you have your hormones all in check, yeah, go be the CEO of that huge company, girl boss and whatever. I love it for you. But if your hormones are all out of whack, I don't know. you're not gonna be the happiest little person.
No, and, like, I think about that all the time because I will say, like, owning a business and running a business and maintaining a business and doing all of the things, wearing all of the hats of a business owner, there's a lot of lines that I draw personally because right now that's not as important to me. Where it's like, I hope I get to a point someday where it's like I have that drive to build that, to grow that, to I don't know. Obviously, I still want to do it. Like that's what I've worked toward for the last 5 plus years. But it's like I'm in a season where that's not my priority. Being a mom is my priority, growing my family is my priority because that's the season of life that I'm in. So I think realizing that like there's going to be ebbs and flow and as a woman, especially a working woman, like there are certain things that we have to do, boundaries that we have to draw and respect for the good of our health, the good of our family and so on, which is hard because I was just one of my clients check-ins yesterday. I had like this huge paragraph from her and she's like, I'm just kind of like angry. And she went on to, like, just talk about how as a mom, she's got, I think, 3 kids. She's married. She owns her own cleaning business. Her kids are in winter sports. She's got pickups. She's got drop-offs. She's got things that she wants to do for herself. Everyone's contacting her about, this thing and that event and this you gotta bring food for that, and they have to be dropped off and picked up at this time at that location. She's like, "I'm sick of it. It's exhausting. It's always on me, and I hate how this society it just leaves all of this burden on women all the time." And she just, like, was like, "Ah." And then after that, the next question is like, "Okay, so how would you rate yourself?" It's like a red, green, yellow, like, red is obviously not great, yellow is like, things have been better, but, like, I'm fine. And then green is like, "I'm doing great, things are going well." She rated herself green, and I was like, "Huh."
And what's more women than that?
I know. She's like, I'm just angry and there's all this on my plate. I'm fine. Everything's fine. It's good. Don't need anything."
Mhm.
And
No,
we
literally, of
lie to
course.
ourselves. We do because we're supposed to just put on the face and keep on going.
Absolutely. But I think too, like I said before, it's a very interesting balance because like I said before, like you can't really bullshit your brain. You can lie to your brain and say like, "Oh, I'm good. I'm fine."
But your body
But
knows.
your body does know, um and your body will almost be confused
Hmm.
cuz your brain will be like, "Okay, we're good. We're fine. We're doing all good cuz we said we're good." And you believe it and your brain believes it and your body believes it, but your body's tired.
Your body's like,
Your body's
huh?
tired and sometimes you need to tell your body like, "Hey, we're tired." And then your body's like, "Oh yeah, I knew
Right.
that actually. And let's do something about it," instead of like your body being tired but your brain being like, "No, we're good. We're good. Let's keep going."
Hmm.
So you can trick your brain. You can. I don't you can't necessarily trick your body.
Yeah. Your body, it keeps tabs on everything.
Yeah. But I want to go back to what you were saying about owning your own business and then also being a mom. I think you can have that balance. But that's what is it is a balance. And the balance strictly comes back to sleep and stress management.
Mhm, and there's give and take,
And
and
that
what I struggle with is the give and take of time, because you don't get time back, and that's why and I have in the past been a very, like, all in, all out, and I feel like that's part of my struggle is I can't be all in on business because I am a mom, and that's the choice that I wanted to make, like, I don't want to be in all business right now, I want to be a mom, so having that realization and making that decision, it's not like it was forced on me, but having the give and take of the time because it's like right now, I'm not spending that time with her. I want to be, but I also want to maintain a business a little bit. Like I don't just want to completely give it all away right now because I don't think that has to happen. And obviously, I
Mhm.
still have clients that are relying on me. And I love that because I know that I'm still able to make an impact, even if it's not like this great big girl boss, like expanding, growing, hiring people. Like, I don't want that. I want to help people. I want to help them raise healthy families. And I don't need the crazy girl boss energy of it all, you know?
I know, but if you did want it, the balance is
Yeah,
all it comes down to. And right now, your balance is just like Josie outweighs some of the business stuff. And at some point, I think you can balance them out to equal or balance the business up a little higher. Maybe never higher than Miss Josie, of course.
never.
But I think everyone can do it and everyone can do everything they say they want to do. Don't get me
Absolutely.
wrong. But I think where people are like, oh, it's like a sleep when you're dead, grind, grind, grind mindset. It's like, it's really not.
It's going to
It's
lower your
more,
current quality of life and also your longevity quality of life. Like it's not worth
yeah.
that sacrifice.
And if you need to like plan your day out to a T or like move certain things around in your day to focus on that sleep and like wind down period before sleep, or even the wind down period before sleep is going to help so much with your stress.
Hmm.
Um, but if you need to move some stuff around, do it.
Yeah. One more kind of bit on what we were just talking about with like the circadian rhythm. And then I want to talk about like the like nervous system regulation, like you were talking about with the wind down and like just calming down. Um,
Mhm.
and this I love this is that your your prioritization of morning light and consistent sleep can be more powerful than any supplement. Like supplements, and I think we forget, are to supplement what you're already doing. If you're not
Mhm.
meeting the bare minimums with the things like surviving, no supplement is going to fix that. So you need to be checking those boxes before you're thinking that these supplements are going to help anything because they have to be able to supplement something. And you can't just, if you think about it like a multiplication, you can't multiply 0 and get something. So if you're not
Mhm.
doing anything and then multiplying by 100 with your supplements, you're still at 0. So that makes a lot of sense, but I think sometimes it's like, okay, like, oh, I'm not checking the doc. I'm not doing the low hanging fruit. I'm not getting the sleep. I'm not exposing myself to morning light, and then I'm expecting everything in my body to just function properly because I'm taking a multivitamin. Like that's just not realistic.
Wow. The zero thing was good.
Thank you. Just came to me.
That was really good. That was
It
great. It just came to you?
just came to me.
That was amazing. We can go into the nervous system regulation. I definitely have some stuff to add with that. I feel like me personally, and granted, let's remind the audience, I have no children, I have no dog.
I have a
So this is
husband.
my perspective. I have a husband who, granted, let's be real, he takes care of me. Most women are like, "Oh, my husband's my child." No. I'm my husband's child. So, anyways, um which kind of brings me into my next thing. Um, I've done some research on this as well, and I think what people don't know, I like to take a slow morning, and women are supposed, I'm going to lose everyone. Women are supposed to have slow mornings. The get up, feet on the ground, go to the gym, do like Orange Theory, 50 minutes of like a cycling class, come back, shower, and then you're done by like 6 a.m. Yeah, female body's not supposed to do that.
Which I hate that you bring that up because I was just contemplating with myself how I'm going to get back to the gym because I didn't cancel my gym membership. I didn't do it.
It's okay.
But I don't want to wake
You're
up at
gonna go.
4:30 a.m. and go to the gym. I don't want that.
Well, it's because we're in a man's world of go go go. Men are supposed to have that because they have that 24-hour cycle where women have that month-long cycle, and women are actually supposed to live slower lives than men because of that.
Hmm.
Because we're different. So we talked a lot about the cortisol hitting like right in the morning. For women, it's harder to bring that cortisol down.
Mhm.
after that, where men can bring it down pretty easily, because it happens to both of us.
Mhm.
But they say don't have this like high packed, and granted, I get that some people have to. Um, don't have this high impact morning because you can't bring it down then.
Mhm.
It's supposed to spike and then you're relaxed in the morning.
Mhm.
You're looking at the sunlight. Like we got to think like women have gotten so far away from how we were meant and made to live.
Mhm.
And my husband's just going to giggle at this podcast. But we're not we're not out there, we're not hunters, like we're gatherers and we're community. Women have always been the gatherers and the community. When they say it takes a village, they mean a village of women.
Mhm. We're the
So like
nurturers.
exactly. So and that's always been gentle and slow and like very much more relaxed than the fight or flight of the hunter. Do you
Mhm.
know what I mean? We're
Yeah.
not supposed to have that fight or flight like freak out mentality to us.
Mhm.
It doesn't respond well in our bodies. Um, but women are supposed to have a more relaxed morning than the men in order to bring us back down. And ways that I practice that is like I've said, I do my vibration plate in the morning. It just kind of, it's like 20 minutes of just like me. I granted, I'm watching Vanderpump Rules, which is, which is drama, but I like it.
Mhm.
I like it. It doesn't bring me any stress, but it's just like that time with myself to just like kind of recenter, relax myself before the day actually starts. And it helps me to bring my cortisol stress levels down to prepare me for the rest of my day, to ride out the rest of my day. Because if I don't ever bring them down, I'm riding out my day at that high level.
Mhm. Yeah, and that fight or flight that you mentioned, like, that is our sympathetic nervous system versus, like, our parasympathetic, which is more of our rest and digest, like, our wind down kinda system, but I think the problem with the nervous system dysregulation is that like, most women nowadays are living in, like, a low grade sympathetic state all the time. So, like, we're never getting
Yep.
that true rest and digest because we're go, go, go all the time and hustling and never slowing down and running all over God's green earth all the time.
Yes.
But I think that's where boundaries and respecting your own boundaries is huge, which is hard, especially if you come from like a people pleasing background. But you get to a point when you realize that you can't please everyone and it doesn't matter what everyone else thinks. You have to do what's best for you, your family, the people that you're entrusted to protect and take care of, including and starting with yourself. Um, but when it comes to, getting into that parasympathetic state, like sometimes just sitting and breathing can do it. Like, just focusing on your breathing, and I actually just saw one of my friends, she had posted a reel, that I saw before we hopped on here, and she said, like, she felt her anxiety, like, ramping up, and she chose to just 20 minutes, like, sit, close her eyes, and focus on her breath, and it didn't cure everything, but she certainly felt better when she was done because her mind was
Yep.
cleared, her nervous system was like, "Ah, we're good. Like, this feels this feels nice."
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it runs back to um the nervous system and all that kind of stuff being different between the men. I think it's so difficult as a woman. And I'm not here to ever say woe is me as a woman. I love being a woman. Um it's so difficult that our counterparts are men because we often compare ourselves to them. And we do it all the time of like why can they lose weight? Why are
Mhm,
they sleeping soundly next to me while I'm pissed off awake at night? Do you know what I mean? Like
mhm,
it, but they're so different from us that we have to remember we have our own nervous system, we have our own sleep schedules, we have our own cortisol spikes. I think, actually, everyone, go listen to this podcast with your husband. Tell him,
Playback.
remind him, He's like, "You're just listening to girls telling you to just be relaxed all day," and you're like, "Yup."
Send it to him. Share it with
Send it
him.
to him. Um, no, but I think that's the hardest part with the sleep and the stress. Also want to remind women just a smidge that our stress resistance, stress management is lowest during our luteal phase. And that's our longest phase of our cycle, which
Hmm.
we're going to get into cycles here in the next couple weeks, hopefully. But just remember that.
Hmm.
Don't be so hard on yourself. Get some sleep. Take
Yeah.
a breath. Your body needs it. Even if you're like, I don't have time for sleep, I don't have time for a breath, well, then your body's not going to have time for you.
Yeah, you're gonna be forced to make time for other things like sitting in a waiting room at a hospital or an ER or an urgent care because something's wrong.
Yeah. Because generally, like when your body's getting sick, it's almost a sign of your body saying, slow it down.
Well, that's
I need a
everything that
minute.
our body does is it's a
Yeah.
signal, it's a message, and the more we ignore the messages that shouldn't be ignored, they catch up. And that's when you end up
Mhm.
either really sick or having chronic fatigue or chronic stress, which all affects your body. And like we were talking about before, like that affects your fertility, that affects your cycle, that affects your ability to conceive. So if you're in the season where you're wanting to start a family, like that's something that you should probably get in check is how well you're sleeping and how well you're managing your stress. Are you taking time to slow down? Are you making sure you're not scrolling until midnight every night and then waking up for work the next morning and just starting the day in a rush? Like there are things that are in your control more times than not. And if they're not, I'm not calling you a liar. I'm not. I'm also not calling you a truther. But I would challenge you to shift your perspective. Get curious and like ask yourself, if I could change this, what would that look like? How could
Mhm.
I slow down a little more? How could I not start my day in a rush? Because there are probably ways, but you're so stuck in your routine, even if your routine is chaos, that you are almost denying that there is another way, which I can guarantee you there is some type of other way. You just have to dig for it a little bit.
And the other way, it comes down to teamwork.
Hmm. Communication.
When yeah, if you're running all over and, like, sometimes just saying to a partner, saying to a parent, saying to a friend, like, if you have a friend
A
where both of your
roommate.
kids are on the same sport, yeah, just being like, "Hey, I need your help." And it's
Hmm.
okay.
Yeah.
Like, you pick them up one day, I'll pick them up the next, and that allows you to, like, have some wind down time, like, it does take a village.
Mhm. And even if you don't have kids, like even coming down to like dinner, depending on like how your work schedules go, figure out a plan at the beginning of the week, have everything available, and then, husband, partner, boyfriend, whoever comes home, they can start dinner because they know what the plan is. It's not like, oh, he's been home for an hour, hour and a half, and he's just kind of farting around, maybe getting a workout and doing nothing to like prepare the evening for dinner or bedtime or anything. And then you get home and you're like, why didn't you do anything? But like, there was never a plan set in place. Like, there's no assumptions when you've got a plan and you lie out whose responsibility is what. So,
Yeah.
communication is like a huge role.
And you come home pissed,
Hmm.
and then you spike your cortisol right before bed because 'cause you're pissed.
Hmm. You're pissed because you
Mhm.
had a bad day, and then you're pissed because there's no dinner being cooked, and then you're pissed because you're eating dinner late, and then you're pissed because then you're cleaning up the dishes really late because you ate dinner late because you got home late because you had a shitty day at work, and it just goes.
And then you know what? Then you stay up at night thinking about it pissed, and he's sleeping soundly next to you because he doesn't think about these
And
things.
then you're pissed.
And then you're pissed. And then you're stressed and you wake up sick.
Wow.
But he wakes up completely fine because he's very different from you. So remember that.
Hmm.
Talk to him.
Communicate. Make a plan.
Communicate with them.
Delegate
Yeah,
responsibilities.
absolutely.
But kind of wrapping all of this conception and being pissed and hormones and cycles and ovulation up, we have to remember that when our bodies, like we talked about the temperature, the hormones, like all of these things play into the grand orchestra that is your body. And when we're not getting sleep, pregnancy is also affected. There's a higher risk of gestational diabetes because your blood sugar isn't able to regulate. So that's forcing you to take time now to figure out how to eat in a pregnancy with gestational diabetes because you can't just eat whatever you want at that point. You have to monitor your blood sugar. You have to eat certain things. You can't eat other things. Like there's a lot more that goes into play when you've got gestational diabetes that you can avoid if you're focusing on these things. And it also affects because there's melatonin production that is affected there. It supports your egg quality. It affects how well your placenta is able to nourish your baby's body. But there's just so many things that are linked to your nervous system, your stress, your sleep as a woman that people aren't thinking about. It's not just about your prenatal vitamins. It's like teaching your body, which this goes to play with like fat loss too, because I feel like so many women in this age range, 20s, 30s, we struggle with our body composition. We struggle with losing fat. We struggle with having just extra abdominal fat, but we also struggle to let our bodies know that they're safe. And when our bodies know that they're safe, they're able to release fat. They're able to relax. They're able to have a healthy pregnancy because it can function the way that it was designed to function. If any of that made you realize that your body probably isn't broken, it's just a little overwhelmed, this is your sign to start shifting how you approach your health. Healing isn't just about eating cleaner or doing more. Sometimes it's about sleeping better, slowing down, and teaching your nervous system that you are safe. If this conversation resonated, share it with a friend who feels exhausted no matter how healthy she's trying to be. And also share it with your hubby, your fiance, your boyfriend, your partner, your roommate, whoever needs to hear it, because this isn't just for you ladies. Make sure you're following us on Instagram and TikTok. We did make a Sis Let's Heal podcast Instagram, so make sure to follow us there. And also, if you aren't already, subscribe to us on YouTube. And another update, we now have video on Spotify. So if you listen on Spotify, you can now see our beautiful faces while we chat, which is lovely to put faces to the names. Because I know it's so confusing when you listen to two people on a podcast and you're like, I have no idea which voice is who. So I love the visual. So hopefully you do as well. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week on the Sis Let's Heal podcast.